Hi, so my name is Madison. I am doing a happiness video to talk about the good life and maybe talk to you about what the good life might be for you. I've learned a lot from positive psychology and taking it and the tools that were provided for me and the knowledge that was given to me, and I really did try to invest that into my life, and so I want to talk about that for a little bit. So for the good life, I guess for me that kind of just boils down to one simple thing, and it sounds insane, but it is so true and it means so much. So it all boils down to having a positive mindset. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous and easy, probably because we hear it so much in our day-to-day life. Oh, like just think positively. Oh, just have a good mindset. And then you're just thinking, it's not that easy. And I'm not saying that it completely changes your perspective on life and that after you have a good mindset that means that everything gets significantly easier. It doesn't. It's all about the work you put in. If you put in the work for positivity, it can be returned to you. Obviously, there's going to be bad moments in everyone's life where sometimes things are just too hard, and thinking positively or thinking that the glass is half full instead of half empty just doesn't work, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that having a positive thoughts automatically means that the bad moments in your life are going to be gone. It doesn't work like that. But it does mean that when you do have good moments, that the good moments are going to be even better, in my opinion. So for having a positive mindset, it's really just focusing on what makes you happy and taking the time to channel what it is. And for me, for a long time, I never really knew what made me happy. All the things that I thought made me happy actually were the things that were making me not happy. I thought what made me happy was being alone in my room and watching TV and not going anywhere, but actually it was just giving me a place where I could just avoid everything. You know, it was an unhealthy habit. But I figured out through a lot of practices and by honestly just practicing gratitude and communicating with the people around me how much I cared about them, I was able to realize how much of an impact they actually had on my life and how much I genuinely needed them in my life. I never really realized what kind of positive footprint they had on me until I really started practicing gratitude and I started to express to them all these moments that they gave to me that made me genuinely happy. And it was then I realized, for me, the good life involves the people I care about. My friends, my family, even the people I go to school with. And then I guess the good life also for me is about practicing letting go of things. I am a big harborer, okay? I overthink a lot. I overthink about stuff that happened in the 3rd grade in the hallway in the middle of the night, and it made life so much more difficult. I was holding on to things for so long that I was unable to just be in the moment and be happy about the things that were currently happening. I was just so stressed about things that just weren't even happening anymore. I was just making myself sick from it. So I was just practicing letting it go. I guess the best way that I learned how to do that was a series of things. That was probably my toughest thing to help get over. I think the best way I can describe how I learned how to release and just let go of things was from journaling, 100%. I started writing in my notes, venting about things that happened to me throughout the day or things that I thought about, and it gave me a source where I felt like I was safe to really express what I was feeling and what I was thinking without overwhelming the people in my life as well. And I learned through journaling that most of the things I was upset about wasn't about the things I was upset. It was mostly just the fact that I just needed to talk about it in order to move on. So once I started channeling my thoughts onto paper, I was able to really just be able to breathe and be like, okay, that happened, it's okay. And then that kind of led into my third thing of what the good life is, which is reflecting positivity mostly brings back positivity. I always had a problem with just reflecting positivity. I always have a very sad looking face when I'm around walking in the hallways. I kind of just look like, that's my face all the time. And everyone always said, you look so angry. And I would always tell them, well, it's actually harder for me to smile. It's harder for me to smile than to frown, which is so untrue. And I knew that because science literally says that it takes more muscles to frown than it takes to smile. But I just wasn't a big smiler. And I realized that really was one of the biggest reasons why I wasn't really bringing positivity in with my friends and family, because I constantly looked miserable. And it sounds so ridiculous to admit out loud. I just looked like I was a walking teenager, 24/7, miserable. But I started smiling. When I see people, I would just be like, hi, like simple things like that. I would just start smiling and being more approachable. And I realized that when I started smiling and being more approachable to the people in my life, they responded by smiling and being more approachable to me. And it was kind of then that I realized I was kind of the problem. I was the problem why people didn't really want to talk to me or hang out with me, because when you look sad and you look like you're just in a negative headspace, people don't want that. People don't want to surround themselves in that kind of emotion. So of course what they're going to want to do is surround themselves with people that look happy. I mean, it sounds so stupid because when I think about it, I wouldn't want to go hang out with someone that looks upset all the time. But here I am walking around miserable. So I started smiling. I started being more approachable. I started saying hi more. I started having like silly, loose conversations. I never really used to do that. I was more of a, we either have long discussions or no discussions at all kind of person. But I started asking people simple stuff like how their day was, what classes they were in. I even started asking like questions that I never even thought to ask, like what my friends' parents' names are and what their middle name is. And I think that was another big problem in my life, is that the people that were in my life, I realized weren't necessarily the people I wanted to surround myself with. They weren't people that really wanted to be invested in my life because they didn't care. They didn't know me that well. And I didn't know them. I didn't know their middle name after knowing them for 3 years. And it doesn't sound that important, but when you're telling people that they're your best friend and you love them like a sister and you realize, wow, I don't even know what their favorite color is, it makes you realize that relationships, they have such a greater impact than you think. And I always said that, and I always thought that I always was investing myself in the right type of relationship, but I really wasn't. I guess I always saw quantity over quality. And I can say now, with only one best friend, I have 2 friends, Ashley and Madison. I am the happiest in my social life that I have ever been. Because even though I only have 2 friends, they are people I genuinely know care about me, that they want to know more about me, that if someone were to ask them a question, they would know immediately. I know them better. They make me happier. Like I said, I always would shut myself in my room. Today, I woke up and immediately wanted to watch a movie and have breakfast with my roommate. And then we went and got coffee together and talked for hours. And then we just got dinner together. And then I just bothered her again to ask about an assignment. I literally spent this entire weekend with her. And that is something so rare for me. I've always been someone so independent who sought isolation, and it honestly feels like a breath of fresh air. Like I finally met my people. And it's such a great feeling. So if there was any advice that I could give to anyone about the good life and what that means, obviously my good life is not going to be your good life. Everyone has a different source of happiness. Everybody has different circumstances, life, memories. Everyone has just different perspectives. So what makes me happy is going to be different for you, or it might be the same, or it might be different and a little bit of the same. But I can tell you that even though it comes in various different forms, that channeling the things that do make you happy and allowing yourself to have bad moments, the rest will kind of flow in with it. Don't think that just because you're having a happy mindset that automatically thinks again that you're not gonna have bad moments. But when you do feel happy and you have those moments of happiness, really sit down and think about what about that moment makes you happy, and take that moment and carry it with you into the future. For me, it was meeting friends that genuinely made me think for myself and made me feel like there was a connection there, and surrounding myself in those, that I was able to find happiness. It was not seeking isolation. It was putting myself in a happy mindset instead of being stuck in all the things that I was constantly upset about. It was just being happy. Being happy will make you happy. There's just different ways that make you happy. Yeah, that's all the tools that I can give you as advice. Is journaling worked for me. Again, writing down all the things that I was thinking and I was feeling. For me, I started exercising. That was a good way to release my anxiety. I started doing that a lot more. Practicing gratitude, talking to my friends and family, because when I expressed gratitude, it gave them an outlet to express gratitude to me. And I think that was something I really needed to hear, was that I was something to be appreciated in other people's lives. And meditating works too, I've heard. Therapy, great source. And yeah, that's my good life, and I hope that I was able to provide you with how the good life might look for you. And I hope you learned a lot about what happiness means to me and what happiness might learn to you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.